These West Side players always ball. If you don't look once, then I know she gon' roll for sure. These West Side players always ball. If you don't look once, then I know she gon' roll for sure. These West Side players always
Back
ball.
to back bins when I'm sliding through the blade, no cheapskates. Chose a player for the win like a sweepstakes. Tell me what it's hitting for, girl, I'm trying to see some. Says a lot about the bitch, if her feet done, heels ain't cheap, don't sleep, need to walk right. Wanna get them bands up, better talk nice. Bring it back like that with the mouth closed. Eyes on the curb, hoe for the bankroll.
I'd like to welcome you to a motherfucking world greatest podcast in the
That's all the long capacity I got for right now.
Oh, wait a remote. I'm sorry. Got the football game in the background.
Thought you was gonna come by.
Oh.
If you wanna vibe.
Damn, we looking for the remote. Where the remote at?
On camera
Over
though.
there if you wanna vibe.
Damn. Can't find the remote.
I ain't gonna lie. No, I ain't gonna do
Damn. The remote ain't over there, man.
Oh, here it go. My bad.
Oh, okay. Sounds right. Nah, you know, another Monday vibes in the building.
I apologize for tardiness.
No, you know, we vibing now. We got friend of the
Look at that.
the show. I want you to put the joint on the table so I can hear my man better, you know? Oh, okay. I like it.
Do your
Sorry.
job.
Well, make sure the video get cut today. Do your job. I'm not gonna do mine neither.
Is that tea or?
Wearing too many hats.
that to you.
It is tea.
How you doing, Luke? Nice to see you.
Sure.
You just come right in. Y'all just get right through it.
Yeah, this is how we do it, but alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
No
so
complaints. You can't complain about what you pray for.
love to hear it. Love to hear it. I was gonna. Kanye West really be blowing me because he really be like ruining the vibes. I had so many other things I really wanted to, but it's just like, how
That's
can I
where we
not?
started?
I have to, bro. It's just like I've spent the greater part of this podcast defending Kanye's behavior,
Let's get into it.
and here we are. So this is the one where I'm like, wow, Kanye. Like I'm. Of all the things, you see, this is gonna be the one time I'm gonna be saying something that's probably contradictory of myself.
What happened?
The one time.
Yeah, no, I'm opening up with letting you know the contradictions. If other contradictions happen in life, that's just that's life. This one, I'm openly letting you know this.
On record.
The nigga has wilded out so many times before and said so many wild things. Slavery is a choice, this and that.
You were personally rocking with the slavery as a choice? You defended that?
No, but I defended his right to say it. Like I defended his
right. Second Amendment.
Not even Second Amendment. That like he could be misinformed and be looking at it from like a perspective that
Of his Kyrie.
You know what? I was like, hey man,
Kyrie.
maybe you just getting bad advice.
His explanation was clear, though. I just feel like his explanation wasn't out there. It was just a clip. It was a tidbit.
Yeah,
No, I heard the
idea
whole
that,
jump.
but see,
It makes sense.
it
doesn't.
It makes sense in a very like basic way. It's a very like
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not deep.
It wasn't.
That's
It
not how
wasn't.
that worked.
It wasn't.
It kind of is.
Does it have to be deep?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It wasn't one of those things where it was nuanced enough
Because he
to
wasn't
defend
actually
the
saying
take.
that slavery was a choice.
Yes.
He was never saying that.
All he was saying was that
That's why he came out with the
all
slaves and all that.
he was like, yo,
shit.
people. He was literally off his like. There were slaves that jumped in the ocean and didn't confine themselves to bondage, and it's like,
sure.
yes, that happened. No one is arguing that sentiment, Kanye.
It's not acting like they killed the people on board.
You know what I'm
They
saying? Like-
couldn't find their way back, and it was just like, oh, bro,
He was just like harping on that little one point that like, yes, there were slaves who like didn't want to be, and it was like,
This nigga watched Amistad once.
it was definitely giving like, yo, I read this history book and like, oh, black people did
Now that
this.
we actually talking about it, I'm like, damn, this nigga read Amistad.
You know what I'm saying?
Watched the movie Amistad
He
once.
was like,
and he was just like,
oh,
so you telling me
they did.
we could have been free?
Or like, he heard the monologue when the nigga's like, I'd rather die in the hole. He saw the Killmonger shit.
Something else, and that was an analogy.
But I think that was all part of it. Like, it ultimately was like, we had choices. Like there were people. He even brought up like Harry had something like there were people who made decisions. He was all about the Nat Turner slave. It was awesome. Like yo, there were choices. So it was like your point is stupid, but like
10th grade history, my nigga.
I can kind of see where like your mind thinks it's going. I don't agree with it, but because you made so many hits, I'm willing to overlook bad decision making.
No.
So, and this was peak making good, like, Pablo wasn't out yet, but it was still, we were after by Beautiful Dark Twisted Fate. Like, this is peak, like, wow, you're really making good hits.
Just making faces today.
You're really making good hits. So I'm like, I'm willing to defend bad behavior. Like,
The shirt is where he draws the line. Like, this is what we're
ultimately, yeah, so we go through another decade
made
of
a
just
great point earlier.
Exactly.
So I don't understand how the shirt is.
So wait, let's get the full circle. This is the Kanye, please.
Going back to tea, bro.
Sips tea. Then he just has the decade of Trump. It's just like more bad behavior, but some people be conservatives. Like there be black conservatives. Like that's a thing.
Definitely.
And also like
a lot of them too.
Being aligned with the president is not a bad decision move. Like that's kind of a smart move. Like being aligned with the most powerful person technically in the free world doesn't seem bad for business. Like
rich people don't like paying taxes. The president that don't like taxes.
I'm just saying, like, from a strictly like, hey, I'm a businessman. I make decisions. Not the worst decision one can be making. Once again, not the decision I would probably make, but also not my tax. See, O'Malley felt that way. He's like, I don't know.
You gotta be there to know.
So
yeah.
Now we get to the Kim. It was just like that was weird, but all of that very weird. But
Ski got a commercial.
Hold on, you talking about the old Kim or you talking about the
later phase is more so like it was all weird.
The leaking and
it was. But once again,
when he get on,
he's abusive of his power.
Very not. Bad behavior.
No, he's abusive. Like on Instagram, he's abusive.
Your team Kim?
No. I'm team Kanye is abusive of his power.
Yeah,
like that's the point that I'm
Team
making.
Kim, I'm with that.
I'm not with that.
In this instance, I'm Team Kim.
I'm not with that.
Okay, see? So more points to be made. So we do all that.
It gotta be like what's the Courtney? It can't be it's like Courtney.
Let's not get off track. Stay on Kanye.
Team Kim is
just between Team Kanye or Team Kim.
I'm fine. Leave me.
So
leave me.
So now I wake up today.
Nigga said, lead me.
Nah, for real.
That's gonna transition me later, but thank you for that.
I want to fight with that one.
We potting today.
We potting already. But then I wake up this morning and I'm like,
You definitely got push-ups in before you got here.
and I was like, wow. I was like,
definitely.
this nigga Kanye done gone off the deep end. White Lives Matter is just like, why are you trolling? Like this, like I'm always here for a good troll. You know me. I love a good.
I'm selling tickets.
I think he.
And honestly,
I think he mean
he's
that.
put that in the group text that he was like, album about it, and I was like, you know what? I hope so.
New
Music about to drop.
Yeah.
I was like, I really hope so because I need an explanation for this behavior. Like of all the behavior, like the White Lives Matter is
They
just
do the same shit. They gotta keep one. Like you gotta understand that we in a society where damn shit happen every day. So how can I one up?
No, bro. My thing about like White Lives Matter,
need to stop
like
that
peak
shit.
2017, maybe I could. Bro, we're not even on that no more.
2017?
Why are you doing?
We not on what?
The White Lives, what, bro? We're not even doing the black. We're not even the white people don't even do the Black Lives
You
Matter thing
tripping.
anymore.
You are tripping.
We're still in that.
That's in their houses, bro, in their windows.
Bro, every time I go to any city, I see it in their house, and I always laugh because it's like they've had it up for 3 years and have forgotten about it. It's just like a house decoration now. They don't even remember that it's there, and I laugh in my head because I'm like, oh, it makes me think to that summer of 2020. Like that's all I go.
Somebody pull up on them and ask them about it.
They'll be like, oh, Oh yes.
yeah.
Bro, I literally see it in DC in particular. And you know what's the funny? You see that, you see the gay rainbow joint, and then you see like some other weird, 3 or 4 weird liberal shit, and you be like, this nigga don't even give a fuck about any of this. They just put this up so you don't fucking burn their house down. They was hoping they literally put that shit up.
Coexist bumper state
And you don't be fucking seeing this in suburbia. You only see this in dead ass cities, major metropolitan cities, and it's like, oh, you were hoping that niggas didn't come through, so you literally threw it up so that niggas would just not rampage you. You was like, I'm a good one. Like that's what that was.
Safety pin ass nigga.
Like that's what that was. Oh, okay, I respect it.
I'm a good one.
I respect it. So I laugh when I see that. Like, that shit ain't real. Like, fuck out of here. Like, you could have gave up your job if you felt that strongly about Black Lives Matter. If you care that much, but you didn't care that much. Bro, niggas had conversations at their job for 2 weeks.
About inequality, huh?
Niggas had jobs niggas had conversations at their jobs about race matters for 2 weeks, and then the white people were like, all right, that's enough of that shit. Back to Zoom meetings, and we'll bring ourselves in the office if it stops us from having to talk about the matters of the world, please. But we off that, and you choose now to make this your call. Like, bro, like, that's so whack. It's not even like a good thing to like.
Did he have any like follow-up words with it, or he just dropped the pic?
He just wrote with Candace, and then the other joint with Candace Owens. It's just like, bro, yes. I didn't even know who she was until I seen a caption, Kanye and Candace. I was like, why are you trolling this hard?
His new girl.
No, some political right-wing shorty who just be going left just to going left when the right and right to left just to piss niggas off. And it's just like, Kanye,
Like niggas specific.
like, what are you doing here? Like,
White.
no, she's black. It's just like, what are you doing? It's just like, it's so ugly.
What state she represent?
I don't know. Maybe she's Caribbean but she's from America, New York or something. I don't know. My point is that, what are you doing this for, Kanye?
She's a talking head. She's not a political figure.
Nigga, she be in that party. She in the base.
Yeah.
She like Alex Jones for women. Black version. Or Ben Shapiro. One of them motherfuckers. My ultimate point is that.
Shapiro is a good one.
My other point is that, like.
Yo, everybody was nasty.
See? Just bad vibes, bro. Like, and Kanye did that to piss us off. Just to piss us off. No other reason but to piss us off. And it's like, you're too old for that, my guy.
I mean, it begs the question.
46.
Like, why do niggas really even care?
Yeah.
Like, white lives matter. It's just like, all right, nigga.
All right, but let's actually get to the point of contention.
He has white children.
And that, listen.
Like I said earlier.
So your tweet.
He has white children.
Honestly,
white kids.
I saw your tweet and I was like, thank you. If I didn't see your tweet, I would have really had nothing for the Kanye. But then I was like, oh, Kanye got white children.
The Kanye.
Like,
I was like, he got white children.
I mean, they're Armenian, but we don't gotta get into in America.
That's white.
White children.
They're white. Even over there, they're white.
He got black children, but he also has white children. Because that's what the black people, that's what the mixed kids, the mulattoes have told me. The mulattoes have told me that they are both black and white. So because that.
Shout out to Auburn.
Because they are both black and white.
He got white kids.
Kanye got white kids.
No, I'm talking about Drake, but Stan.
Now Drake kid is white.
I wouldn't even talk about Drake.
No, we know.
Yeah.
But like,
His kid. All right, go ahead.
so
He white too.
with white kids, like that maybe gives him a pass.
Black girl.
That might give him a pass. Huh? Who's black too? Drake. Yeah. So that might give him a pass.
Who might get hookah pass? Kanye get?
No, Kanye's kids are white, so they can do whatever they want. I mean,
They might get hookah pass.
Kanye for the White Lives Matter because he got
Who
white
might
kids.
give him a pass?
Streets.
No, they won't. But I mean, like, as a like an actual like, hey, like his reasoning, that's legitimate reason. Like I got white kids. Like I think they should care.
That can't be your reasoning.
It is though.
Kanye doesn't seem like the brightest tool in the shed outside of
We
music.
just debated that.
So I think his reasonings don't really have to align. Like outside of like fashion, art, and music, I don't really think his mind is like really moving through all the cylinders as
Mm-hmm. Those pistons ain't sparking.
Yeah, no disrespect, I just don't think like like I said, I think he saw the album instead and was like, yeah.
No disrespect to jokes.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not. Listen, I'm not asking Kanye about like what he thinks about Russia. You know what I'm saying?
That's the last thing I'm asking.
I just.
Like, I'm not asking.
It seems more like you want to be original. Like, just be a wow factor.
And that's what I'm saying. That is so whack because the thing that you're trying to wow us with. Come on, bro. We're
Like,
off
niggas
it.
ain't jacking that, bro. Like, I don't even know if white people about to be wearing that shirt around White Lives Matter.
Yeah, there's a group.
There's
There's a group that will be trolling who will wear it for sure.
I mean, yeah, but like, what are you like?
next Trump rally.
But that's my thing about the White Lives Matter. Like, ultimately, that's why I can't defend the Kanye point because white lives, we're not. What the fuck are you talking about?
I ain't gonna lie. That's very wild to put out in the atmosphere. Like to be the person to put that out there.
That's what I'm saying.
To be the face behind that because like that could spark so many things, and you just giving people a foundation. You giving them something to go back to and be like, not even just he said it. You giving them representation. Like
Once again, when someone tells you who they are,
that shit.
you gotta let them. You gotta know. The nigga did the whole Confederate flag patches on the clothes. Like, I don't know why he decided.
You
Like,
me not fuck with Kanye
at this
when
point,
we talk about
at
this.
this point, it's only a hit for me. Today is the day I've decided it is only the hits for me. Kanye has strictly become a hits man. I have nothing else with Kanye.
I wish we were conversing in that pod because I have a real question, but I don't want to.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can talk later. All right, so you said something about leader.
I'm gonna say actually.
And I felt the leader thing because it made me think of the debate on the timeline. You seen this about the plate, vibrational plates,
Hell no.
low
Hell
vibrational
no.
plates?
No sir.
Oh my goodness.
I'll send you the video. But apparently, there's a young lady who's a life teacher or a life coach named Coach Storm.
I've seen the Coach Storm thing. I haven't seen the video. I've seen the name. I didn't see anything else though. Today was pretty busy.
So the funny thing is that I didn't watch the video, but I looked at all the discourse around the video, and I've decided that I'm fucking with low vibrational plates. I'm fucking with low vibrational plates. Now let me tell you why.
What does that say about you?
That I'm probably have bigger issues to worry about in my life, but that's neither here nor there.
What is a low vibrational plate?
So apparently,
Why?
I don't know.
the girl had endless food on her plate. Like she had like chicken, burgers, I think like brats.
Shorty's like, look at my plate, look at your plate. And they used to ask who's royalty, which plate you think they had picked.
And you know what?
Like what? Who the fuck? All right, you got it.
So there's
I get it.
No, I don't get it. It's stupidity.
This is why I didn't want to know. And when Nomadic asked, I was like, why, bro?
sound like a cook-off or something.
No, she's talking about energies, nigga.
Oh,
Energies, auras, nigga. All that shit.
Bro, that's why I love it because here's the thing.
So how are they plating this?
Son,
Nah, cause look, Shorty had like a burger.
asking questions. Stop.
Bro, listen, it's two chicks.
How are you plating your vibrations though?
Let me-
How are you saying this is my vibe? On
See,
the
I'm
plate?
glad
How
you
are
asked
they
because that's going to
doing
lead me to the next question,
That's what I need
the
to
jokes
know.
questions after. But the actual question was that I seen one Shorty's place. She had a burger and a chicken wing, and that was basically it. And it was basically like nothing on her plate. It wasn't too much. The other Shorty just had like a cookout plate. Like she had the fixings. She had everything. She had her sides. She had burgers. She had it all. And the funny part about it, you can see the girl like licking her hands in the video. The girl who's telling the other girl that her plates are low vibrational, and it makes me realize that listen, if you have the audacity, that is what's most important in this lifetime. Having the audacity. I respect Coach Storm because she has the audacity to tell someone their plates are low vibrational and say it with a straight face. Like me personally, I couldn't get that off. Like I'm I'm having the conversation now and I haven't even watched the video with audio and I can't get right. But Coach, bro, she sat there with the straight face, and then there's like other videos, like there's follow-up videos like on a boat where you see her like talking, like it's just like, wow, Coach Storm, teach me your ways. Like we need to stop like shaming people like this and start asking them to help us get how.
No, we don't. No, we
get
don't.
how they
We need
get.
to we need to shame more. That's what's wrong. That's what's wrong.
You
need to
think so?
shame. Yeah, hell yeah. Scarlet letter them.
Hell yeah.
I personally feel as though, and this is just my feeling, that Coach Storm is out here providing a good service because she is allowing us to know that there are people.
She's the mukbang hood healer.
You know what? I think Hood Healer is funny because some of the quotes be
You
like,
like
"Hey,
that thing you did, Monte.
Does mukbang have a positive connotation?
There's just some people eating food.
It's nasty.
Granted, it's a fetish material, but
granted, it's a fetish material."
You said she's a mukbang what?
Such a vibrational place.
I said they are.
Oh yeah,
I said she's a mukbang hood
Healer.
healer.
Before let me before I get too off track.
And then she was talking about low vibrations and all that. Just like,
Hood
damn.
Healer be saying some wild shit, but it's like for every like one good quote, she has like 5 wild quotes, and it's just like she's definitely like the female Kevin Samuels or the woman.
I just thought about him.
The woman Kevin Samuels. I thought about him today. Like
And you said what you said.
his whole like
Which is shame.
his whole phenomenon is so fascinating to me. It's like literally one of the most fascinating things ever.
Once again, audacity.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like
definitely phenomenal.
because you got to realize he was doing this shit for a brick before it got popping. So and he like literally changed the whole shtick. Like went from like yo, I'm talking strictly to like men, like also like I'm a life coach for you men. To like the shorties, like the same shit he was saying to the shorties, he was doing strictly for the men at first, and then
He started doing it for women.
and then the shit picked up, boom, boom, boom. Like I think he even got some videos before he passed. Like no one cared what I was saying. This about da. But then the thing that gets even more interesting to me is that after he passes, it's like the shit gets even bigger.
Yeah. Always though.
But that's the weird thing. It's like, how did this phenomenon like take? Like, was it just waiting in the weeds? Like, was Kevin Samuels like just the spark that needed all these dudes to just come out of everywhere and be like, "I'm here"? That's crazy to me. Like,
I mean, he laid the ground, so it was just what it was. His death just brought eyes. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna bring conversation.
that's crazy.
I don't know about his death ring. Well, obviously,
No, it
more
does.
eyes.
Yeah.
But niggas was not watching, but niggas knew what the Kev was about, but
No,
niggas
for
wasn't fucking with him. So why? Because he's dead now. Now his message.
Controversy.
Yeah,
I was riding for Kev.
Here we
I don't
go.
care what anybody said.
he was. He
Niggas
was.
was like, nah, he's not.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Niggas talk about a lot of people die, but they talk about Whitney Houston a lot. Controversy. Like her death is.
Yeah, and also you're right. How Kev went out.
Yeah.
Like all this shit, and then he went out with the big booty shorty. Like,
I wasn't doing all of that. Though. I was like the whole thing.
Nigga
The whole
nodding his
story.
head.
all right, let's get back to low vibrational plates. What would you want on your low vibrational plate? Like, if you had to like decide what was on or not on your plate.
I need some whitening.
Okay.
I need some.
At the
good-ass
cookout?
black. What?
Yeah,
I need
fried
some
fish. Come on now.
Not
I
everybody
need
gets
some
it
You
done
good-
like
can
that.
only get the plate at the
I
cookout.
don't know. I don't give
They
a.
had cookout food, so I
So
guess
that's
that's why
what,
we
you know,
going
that's
on
why-
that.
Can't make a plate. It has to be.
But
cookout.
at a cookout, right? They be cooking. So with that being said, I need some whitening. I need that 4 cheese mac. I need the green.
Finally.
I need the green beans that's loose with no pork.
Turkey neck in that thing.
I don't even need that for that. Should be juicy. I don't need all that.
Do.
Nah, I need some meatballs.
Okay. Little baby shower vibe.
Like high vibes on this
That's
plate.
what I'm saying. That sounds like a
That's
good
not
plate,
no
bro.
vibrational, bro. That's not no vibration, bro.
He said, "Hold on, I need
a
more."
burger. I need a good. I'm good.
I need a glick.
Are you good?
I'm good. I always need a glick and a burger at a cookout.
I feel that.
It's like,
I feel like if you don't have a glick or a burger on your cookout plate, it's a low vibrational plate.
I think that's not what Coach Storm was talking about.
Well, I don't give a fuck what Coach Tom was talking about. Like personally, like
That's not what Coach.
while I respect her premise, like I don't respect her premise. While I respect
You don't respect
her hustle,
Okay.
I don't respect like what she's getting at. So like, I don't really care for it. But I do respect that she has the audacity and someone will allow her to do that. So that she does get my my kudos for that. Because I'm big on like if someone will allow you to do something, who am I to be the guy to just be upset about it? Like that seems like a bad way of living.
I don't. For me, it goes back to the client. It's like
A bad way of living.
Why does what gives her
the right? The audacity?
Nah.
Niggas say Trulies.
It's just like
my neighbor shot my man Dre. He brought him over.
Real niggas.
Interesting.
Don't play my man. My man was in the comments. He said, "Take down the Michigan joint."
what she said.
That was him?
LOL. She's talking about high vibration. She had shit on her plate that wasn't. So.
Yo, I just got a text. Someone said vibrations. Yo, people killed me.
Let's be for real, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I really think low vibrations are a thing, though, for real. So, like, while she is bad vibes, I do think she has something. I don't think her point was right within this, but I do think people definitely be having low vibrations. So, if she was really like working to like actually help people be like better vibes, I'd bring her onto the religion. But she doesn't seem like she has the right focus, personally.
I think she'd be a good guest speaker. Now I got guest preachers and shit, just pastors.
Let's just stop.
You out of town.
Can we?
She can come through.
I would actually.
God bless the sister. Peace be upon her.
I don't even know who this broad is, but so I don't even know.
Broad. It's a good B word substitution. It's a good B word substitution. Can't hold you.
So what is broad like exactly? Like, is that like a? Like, I know what it is.
A term of endearment.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it like where did it? Does anyone have its origin story to be like? He said, So while you Google that, I just want to get a quick shout out to my favorite president of all time, Jimmy Carter. He turned 98 last week.
You still kicking?
He's still kicking.
He's still on.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Happy birthday, Jimmy Carter.
My guy. The peanut farm.
For sure.
Hope the peanut farm is going well.
And I think all solar too, I believe.
Can I ask why is he your favorite?
Because he was trying to do the right shit. Niggas weren't fucking with him.
My thing about anybody.
This is wild. I didn't know bro was in the dictionary.
All right, tell us. All right, before we finish with Jimmy Carter, tell us what broad.
Let me get to the full.
All right. My quick reason for Jimmy Carter is I like a guy who, first of all, wasn't really expected. Jimmy wasn't like a household name type shit. He ain't off your Bush family. Just, random kind of cuz.
Just a peanut farmer from Georgia.
Like real, like this, bro. To become the president of the United States,
A Democratic president from Georgia.
to become the president of the United States, it's some real type shit. Like there's only 46 of these guys ever. Like in a place that's been around for 200 years, like that's a pretty big deal. Like to be one of them, you're literally one of them. Like let's keep this shit 100.
He one of them.
So I fuck with Jimmy, underdog story, and man retired and just kept it chilling. Wasn't out here trying to be like, look at me. He was like, yo, just doing my thing.
Stand.
I was the president. Yeah, that's it.
And the Republicans banned out in 79. We ain't gonna talk about that today though.
And they made him lose his peanut farm when he was president, and I ain't fuck with that. That don't sit right with me. So, happy birthday, Jimmy.
He got bad now.
Hope you're doing well. Tell the family, holla at me. I want to be at the 99th.
Hope you're doing well.
Definitely will hope you're doing well.
Two definitions for Brian.
Okay, give us the
You want the American or the nigga
ooh.
one first?
Give me the
I
American.
give you a quote unquote American, so it's Old English
Of course.
of German origin. Also used heavily within the
The
Dutch
Windsors are
culture.
German. The Windsors are German.
In Webster's, broad says, I get drunk, follow the pretty broads, and make a fool of myself.
That's a sentence.
So broad means woman in that sentence.
In the Urban Dictionary, broad, word for a woman, less respectable than a lady,
Wow.
but much more respectable than a bitch.
Ooh.
That's a better definition.
Man, look at those two broads. They are smoking.
They are smoking. Hey, I like that.
By Most Def and Quali or Black Star. That's where that bar came from.
Shout out to Art. Y'all seen Bay.
Shout out to Broad Street.
Less respectable is crazy. My bad.
So you like broads? Is that your? With the definition now in hand,
I can't lie. I've been getting broads off for a very long time. Shout out to way she niggas know. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
okay. I mean, I'm not a big.
This is better when I begin.
I'm not a big proponent of broad, but I don't hate it. If that makes sense.
Broads, bro.
I don't love it and I don't hate it. Well, since I have this on my thing, you heard Kim K had to pay $1.2 million to the SEC for some crypto shit. Does that mean we think crypto? I've been seeing like crypto's a scam again. Are we back? I know Mook's been big on the funny money. He ain't been fucking with it.
I'm not.
No matter, you fucking with it?
Like
Never.
what I'm saying is I don't think that it's funny money. I'm not saying I don't.
But I'm saying, like, I've seen the conversation now being like, all right, these two people are like, like they endorsing like it's basically a Ponzi scheme for basically cash, like internet cash or non-real money.
Sell a coin, get the cash, American dollar, and they get crypto.
Do you think with like people like Kim K, because Kim K ain't gonna be the only one, like there was a lot of other celebs who was doing the same shit she was doing. So if they start, coming down on
Probably come for Zcash.
on a bunch of different people, you think people start being off that? Yeah, crypto is just like, because I think that was like peak pandemic. That was the thing. I mean, the crypto is that, or you either on the side of y'all crazy, that fake ass, or nah, it's the future. Like
That's what it was before that shit made it big, though.
yeah, but it was a much smaller group of people. I would argue, like the pandemic, and then like I said, once you get people, the same way you talk about Kanye power on platforms, when you get people of the stature of Kim K endorsing shit, it changes the game. Like you gonna have some household mom, some random mom in West Bubblefuck fucking with crypto because she seen Kim K, an ad for Kim K doing it.
You had to see it. Hey, she was probably watching that shit on E. But yeah, like I said, they was probably watching that shit on E. Probably just watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something. Kim just stumbled upon talking about crypto.
It seemed like a slap on the wrist to me. 1.3.
That ain't shit there.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem. I don't know the ins and outs of whatever she got.
There's a couple IG posts.
I'm just saying, I don't know the ins and outs of whatever they, I didn't get into it, but with that being said, I don't think that particularly is saying anything about crypto.
Okay. That's more so my question. Do you think it leads people to be more cautious or say, I'm going to stay away now, or not?
If you know how things go, you know what I'm saying, you would know that.
My thing is, if you got into it, basically, my question, if you got it off of the celebrity endorsements or the idea that like, oh, if celebs is fucking with it, it's legit because they doing it.
There's taxes.
Do you not? So you see it just like that, like, oh, this part of the game.
We behind. We need ours. You was ahead. We need ours. It's simple. What are we talking about?
SEC not the IRS, but I feel that.
I mean, whoever though. I don't look at it any different than. So what's the ins and outs? Then we have to. Because if it's different,
IRS comes for taxes. SEC.
I'm not saying literal taxes.
No, my bad.
Yeah, I'm just you getting taxed up. Whoever you could tax somebody, you not the IRS.
That's all
I know
wrong,
that.
baby.
Okay, we going somewhere else.
So we going somewhere else. I love
Just
that.
saying. No, I'm good. I'm I'm just saying you could. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
I could. I respect that. DC is the third most expensive city to live in the United States. How do y'all feel about that as people who live very close to the district?
It's a blow, but it's whatever.
It says taking into account rent, insurance, a few other things, auto loans, utilities, cable internet, mobile phone, life insurance, da-da-da. What do you, how do you feel about that? What's your, Americans found spend an
Who's
average.
number one, number two? New York and LA.
No,
San Jose.
San Jose, then San Francisco, followed by Los Angeles, New York, San Diego, Boston, Seattle, Riverside, California, and Denver, Colorado, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, San Jose threw me for a loop.
San Jose doesn't throw me for a loop, actually.
I'm not familiar, so.
A lot of people have been moving out there because of the property
Silicon
taxes
Valley.
in LA and Silicon
Not,
Valley,
you know,
shit like that.
you know, that little hub out there.
It's like a nice in between place between LA and
Yeah, I think.
San Fran too.
Mhm.
But what do I think about? What do you think about that?
It is what it is.
It's as simple as that.
Niggas be getting bread out here, so nigga cost of
Oh.
living gotta fucking.
Wow, as simple as that. Niggas just-
I mean,
Maryland's average salary
right.
is the United States average salary. Not too many states can say that.
Yeah, like the average salary per,
Yeah,
like the, I guess the
Talking
mean.
DC, big salary higher.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh.
DC's 10% sales tax, and Maryland is 6. For perspective, like it's a lot different. Being in Maryland or like being in Alexandria or Arlington.
And don't let it be tobacco.
I think that's the thing that's interesting about DC. That DC, like New York, and like most metropolitan cities, isn't just a city within itself. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in DC, it's parts of PG. It's the outskirts of Virginia. It's the outskirts of Moco. So there is like a weird intersection of a lot of money that maybe isn't concentrated in the heart of the city. So,
Because the people that's making bread, I can argue a lot of them don't live in the city.
you know what I'm saying? But they work in the city.
For sure.
They spend a lot of time in the city.
But it's not.
Niggas live in Potomac, McLean, Rockville.
Alright, I can't. You just broke it down what they basing it off of, right? But also, there's a lot of tourism.
Yeah.
And DC itself makes a lot of money, and like these businesses in DC pay a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like,
Reagan National Airport is so.
so it's like with all of that being said, I think they started moving in that direction within, you can say however many years, 5, 10, 20 even. But like where we're at now, right? Because I work in DC and I drive all over every day. I don't want to get into another stance on it, but with that being said, I think they are focusing on the business more than anything else. And it's about that dollar. We're going to get it. We've been getting it because every Thursday, go to them airports.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
So it's like, we're going to keep getting it. At
DC
least,
had
at least 4 out of 7.
DC had the money for infrastructure that they was just sitting on though, and they built it up to build it up the way it is now. So it's just like, yeah.
Look at it now, and they're still building.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
I mean, like, they also didn't have the capital to build before. Like the city itself was structured for it to be the way it is now, but they never built it up that way until now. Because you know you got like Amazons and Microsofts and shit like that, and that type of money coming in. You got all these defensive contracting companies, independent or major. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like.
Nah, man, they had that shit since the Bush era.
No, for sure. That's what I'm saying. So he said the last 10 to 20 years. That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's been a war economy since 1944. So the city, I just think the city is a weird place because once you get less black, like Chocolate City gets less black, then it gets more expensive. It becomes a certain type of person who actually like
Can afford.
lives within the, because I think that's becomes the issue, because when you price out the city for just like actual black people, and then you have a very small group of black people who can actually live in the city, it changes the dynamics like of what the city becomes.
Well, you got to move different companies in, different companies out.
So I'm just always curious about like
No more shoppers.
when
more
cities
Whole Foods.
become super expensive, what that means for what the because once a city becomes super expensive, it becomes just like any other city. Because you said it's the tour, it becomes about like the dollar for the city. So then the city,
But what are you like? It's becoming that.
yeah. But see the thing about like other cities, like for example Philly, Chicago, I would argue like these cities have like characters of their own. Like their cities, you know, you could argue like they're expensive or whatever, but they still feel like a city within their own. So people are able to, you know, maybe still live within the city corridors, or really just like right outside and still enjoy the city. I don't know if that will be possible for DC, because DC isn't like a city where you can move without a car neither.
But I don't think DC has to be there because it's the nation's capital. And with it being said, we're transitioning from Chocolate City, or have transitioned from Chocolate City, and it's more about like
I was about to say,
Sunday
that's the-
brunches and.
I think the nation's capital thing is a
I
really
was
big
about to
point,
say
though.
the nation's capital is the character of DC.
I think that's what has changed. I think that's what it has become. I think and I think that's a good point, because I don't think that's always what people thought of DC as. I think it was thought of as Chocolate City, and I think to like people in the United States and on an international scale, yeah, you know, nation's capital. I think now
Chocolate City was a very East Coast, down south thing.
I think domestically now it has become the idea that it is just the nation's capital. Like that has become kind of the idea of what people think of when they think of DC. They don't think of it as like this black metropolitan or this black metropolis. It's more so, yeah, that's the place where the president lives, or that's the place where they be doing the politics shit at. Like
this is what January 6th happened at.
like that's what the city has become, a very like, oh, it is that no character that reflects anything that isn't kind of like, yo.
That's why you think they was trying to dead go-go.
I don't think you can dead something in that type of way. I think,
No, I mean like they dead ass was like
yeah, like
on
no
some other
parties,
shit,
no. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
within city limits
But I
like
think
that.
within a culture, a thing within a culture is
for
like,
sure. Is it like that's why they
People
people
don't
like
really-
they got this music, the official music of DC.
yeah, I don't think people really can dead that shit, and that's why you do it like that. Once you make it the official music of DC, you now brand it in a very particular way that makes it palatable for everyone. So now it is your thing that you showcase to the,
To the masses,
you know, to the people.
Apple Music,
yeah.
title.
Like once again, I was in Chicago. I seen Bucket Boys. I told my cousin, I was like, oh yeah, y'all Bucket Boys still be out here. He was like, oh yeah, next day they're gonna be out here forever. I was like,
It's alright.
you haven't, like, I don't know if
I
DC,
seen that when I was in New York. I was there last month.
you know, people have things, and I think that's
Like with the drone. I mean,
yeah,
the sticks,
yeah. Like when we was in Noya, they had the same shit. Like people got certain shit that even like even if your place becomes a certain way, super touristy, super this, super that, there's a culture in the heart of it that'll, you know, keep maintain it. And I just wonder, like, you make that shit super, it becomes the third most expensive place to just live on a daily. How does that just change everything? You know what I'm saying? For just like every average everyday
but
people.
You also got to take into account though, like there's been a lot of murder in the city, and that eventually there's going to be a press of infrastructure and not just police.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean,
And what we're seeing is the after.
but you know what's so funny about that? If you like look at actual like murder stats throughout like the country, like every major metropolitan city from the 90s or like the late 80s till now, it's less murders per year. Like on a yearly.
I get that, but it still be.
You know, I get what
That's
you're
what they
saying.
look at it.
But when we talk about it, it's very interesting that like the numbers like per year. Like I mean, I think at 1 year in like the late 80s, early 90s, New York had 1,000 murders per year, like homicides.
Yeah,
like this was.
And
I think
DC was at like 600, 800.
Nah, no way. DC is at like 300 or 400, and like that's crazy.
I'm
Like,
talking about in the 80s.
no.
I'm talking about in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about in the
New York,
80s.
you talking about New York City?
Yes, that's what I'm
the
saying.
city.
Are you talking about like all 5 boroughs?
But that's how it's always. That's how it's
always
like,
done.
But today it's probably like 300, 400.
A lot of that shit was in Manhattan.
And that's my point.
Put into perspective, square mileage.
But it's New York City.
It's New York City, bro.
So my thing is that
DC is a lot smaller.
well, that's my thing. Like he said, 600, 800 back then. Now it's like 200, 300. Oh, Matic, one more time for me. Can I just get the homicide numbers for DC and New York, just for at least this year or last year? It's in the 340. Like it's a far lesser number than what it was.
But we be going on runs though. Like the first niggas be going on like the first 100 days of the year.
Here's the thing about it's not like I'm not trying to minimize it. I'm just saying like when we're big,
That shit be
when we're
crazy.
looking at it from a strictly like how violent or how less violent it is.
The money that affects the safety, the environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think like
But they
parts of the city in which they're doing
they contain that shit.
Yeah, are like we're talking about that in the
They
same way.
contain that shit.
Like the
I'm
people
just
who be
talking
getting
about
murdered and
crime
killed.
now. I'm talking about what's going on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But that's
I
what
mean, you can say it's a very minuscule argument, but even now, like the violence is spread like into certain places, and that's why they're like ho. Like
Bro.
niggas getting shot in Georgetown.
You see how
You know what I'm
when
saying?
that type of shit
City
happens,
center.
ramifications happen,
That's
things
what I'm
change.
speaking- That's what I just said.
But they're saying things that every time I follow this crime reporter on Twitter, every day he talking about someone getting killed. And you know where it always be? In the same pockets. Southeast, Southwest, and parts of the Northeast corridor that don't be nowhere near
The like U Street,
the
Florida,
downtowns, the
Yeah,
7th
all
Street,
that.
the China. So what does that say? It says that like, yo, they'll allow people to die and be killed and have their lives all types of fucked up in certain places.
I ain't gonna lie, since you saying this, y'all was sitting the wire, not to cut you off.
No.
The wire.
No.
Yeah,
You did legalize drugs on them?
yeah.
Kennedy
The
Street,
open air,
7th and Kennedy. Continue.
bro. My thing is that like,
I literally said, it's just like,
What's going on?
no, it's not even what's going on. It's like police on the corner.
everybody doing their thing. Everybody has decided this is the way we're living, and this is my point. Like, even with something as basic as where they decide where the red light cameras at, and
Yeah,
bro,
like how Anacostia
people be
is.
fucking driving like madmen
violated with
down the Rhode Island circle in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Where Rhode Island,
Yeah.
people be running that red light wicked, just zoom, zoom, zoom. You be thinking like, yo, somebody's going to fuck somebody up. Ain't no red light camera. You know where they got fucking red light cameras? On Benning Road and fucking East Capitol. Where it's like, buddy, what? Like, who are you catching here? And then who are you catching? Why are you catching them? If you caught all the people down Rhode Island who be running red lights and all that shit, you probably make way more money and da. But you know what you also do? You be booting way more people. You be having way more people call and complain. And they don't want to deal with that. You know what they would do? They just gonna fucking do that shit on the side. They're like, yeah, we down here already. And
Y'all niggas ain't coming to court.
y'all not gonna complain and call your local council member and ask them why this is here and why this is that. Y'all just gonna be like, these niggas, and keep it moving. And they know that, and that's why they do shit like that, and that's why shit be priced out like that. Ain't no fucking $2,300. They said like the median rent is like $2,200 a month, or like $2,000 a month. How many $2,000 rent apartments on the South Side?
Let me know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my whole point. That it's like it's a very interesting way that you end up even like kind of segregating the city and making it the way it is. You got any stats for me, buddy?
don't got hard numbers. They just giving me rapes by 100,000 people type shit.
Mm.
Segregation's a whole nother.
But yeah, you know, it's very.
Park.
We was talking about that on the last episode.
Sam, Mississippi first though.
For
Oh,
sure.
per 100 people? Yeah.
100,000.
Per 100,000? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
in top 10, yeah, 8. Right, it's 2020 though.
I can see that.
It's all South shit. This is wild.
yeah, I mean,
man.
per 100 people, because Baltimore go crazy.
100,000.
Yeah, per 100,000 people, you gotta understand smaller metropolitan area, because that's what you were asking earlier. Do they take that into account? But yeah, I think for the national shit, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm staying in the top 10, I feel like. That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, bro, we be in the top, like, niggas be going like the first, like, then niggas going like a streak for like the first 15 days. 20
Yeah, remember
days
that
or
one
some
time,
shit?
like maybe like 10 years ago, they had like someone got killed like every day.
Yeah. Like that shit was crazy.
That shit was very
like
wild.
an actual homicide happened.
Yeah, people have to value life more. Like I hate to be that nigga, but people just have to value life as a concept more. Like the idea that someone's life matters.
I think people have to value their own life more. Like you have to, preserve yourself. Self-preservation is a real thing.
And I agree to that, but that's my point. How do we get it where people can survive?
You got him. What round you get him?
Where people can survive
I don't
and
know.
not have to feel as though
Probably like 6 or 7.
the taking of someone's life is the ultimate way to go about it.
One more time.
Is the I think I get what you're saying. Like if someone's trying to kill you, how can you not worry about making sure that you don't get killed? I don't deny that. Like that's the thing. I don't.
How do you get there? Because it's like, do you want how did you get there? How did you get there? Why is somebody trying to kill you?
That's the thing. Like
I don't really think.
I think you gotta understand.
You
It's
go like that.
it's not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like the way you was like the shit didn't make sense earlier to you. I don't think it really has this for a lot of people, bro. Like if you live in, bro, there's people who have beef with certain people because they grew up somewhere. It's as simple as that. Like if a dude sees you and he's like, "Oh, you,"
I ain't gonna lie though. It's like he was there. Like he ain't have to be like. He didn't have to. Charles, you could have been
No,
there.
yes.
Y'all could have been there.
but that's the whole.
If you was in, y'all could have been there.
But that's my whole point, though. Like
Because of how you move.
you have to decide these things for yourself. So you can't tell someone like the same way you were like earlier. Like you can't tell a 17-year-old who's been conditioned a certain way how to. Yo, if you are all my friends, there's people who don't even have to be a part of stuff, bro. Like if we grew up with each other since we were children, why can't I hang? And we live in the same neighborhood. Why can't I hang with you?
Right.
Like what? Why am I not allowed to be? And that's the human nature. I think of all of this that bothers me. Certain people, like you said, the whole idea of civilians. Like certain people just live. So like we're all just living. Ultimately, we all got different ways of living. We all doing different things for sure, but we're all just trying to live. So if I'm just trying to live and I'm deciding like, hey, like I don't want to kill people for a living. I don't want to sell drugs, and you are my friend. I do know you. Why should I be subject to some weird rules in which now I gotta go through hoops and hurdles?
I just feel
Like that don't make sense to
I feel
me.
like you gotta go through some hurdles. I just feel like you should not put yourself in positions.
But here's the thing: if I'm hanging with my man, like
Facts.
you said, we from the neighborhood.
But how old are you and you hanging? Like what? Like why are you hanging?
16.
If my man's that's doing that invite me to a party, and I go to the party, and then it just so happened
That someone from
the ops
opposite come
pull up or whatever,
see
and
a
then
girl,
they
you
just
talking to a girl.
That's like high school 16. Like if you're 16, that's high school shit. I'm not talking like I have nothing for the kids because honestly, kids gonna be kids and they just gonna follow.
But the kids doing it now. Man.
That's what.
Because of what they're but that's
That's my whole
what's
point.
in
So,
their diet.
so
Like,
if the
I
kids
can't-
are learning from somebody, that means the 24-year-olds are doing it. Like someone.
that means that the 35-year-olds.
That means someone is. So if people are doing it, then this is a way of like. At a certain point, we can't be disingenuous and be like, "Oh, they're just children."
That's not like it
Or
was. It wasn't a shootout at our school,
I'm
bro.
not even.
But it has.
Whole drive-by.
But we gotta be honest. At a certain point, this is the way people are living as a collective. So when you're doing it as a collective,
Okay.
you gotta respond to the collective. So like, yo, this is how it's like, yo, why are you allowing this to be the nature that is okay?
Like this is status quo.
Like, fucking nailed it on the. This is the status. Like that is how we respond to this.
Like okay, this is cool.
And once people are like, nah, that's not cool. Like not when outraged, not when it's their people, not when it's somebody they love, not when collectively every time
Just period.
people are like, nah, that shit is whack. Like y'all niggas, nah, that shit can't respect that. Like I hate to be this guy, and I'm gonna get up out of here on this one, but like the fall of the baby is so intriguing to me. Another thing that I'm just fascinated by. So said he sold 17K. Said he got blackballed.
17K.
Da 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 da. Whatever.
7 days.
Yeah.
Streaming.
Whatever.
17,000.
I'm talking like you played it or something.
I did not.
Talking like you should play it.
I did not. I didn't say any of those things.
Good job.
I've definitely seen
I'm
the
not,
numbers.
but it's just like that's a.
So he said he got blackballed.
I thought that was generous.
And people, and I was interested at like the idea that, oh, this is why, or this is the thing that gets a man blackballed. Like people were like, you know, he said that like whack, he was just whack. You know, he made that, I guess, that song about sleeping with Megan Thee Stallion. They said like,
I love how there's so many conversations within one, because that's a whole nother.
he did some shit about like he said some shit about LGBT. So like he had a lot of things they said like since his last kind of thing that turned him off to people, and all I could think about was y'all literally were okay when it was said that he killed somebody.
Multiple people.
Like that was the when I remember the jump off to the baby, the whole shtick was like, he murdered this dude in the Walmart. And then I read, and then I like kind of, and then I got kind of deeper into the story, and the girl was like, "Fuck y'all!" Like my brother was a fan of his and wanted to like get his autograph, and he killed him, and
out of paranoia.
Y'all just kind of like ran with that and made him into this this super thug guy, and my family lost him, and all I could think about was like, damn, someone lost somebody. Someone they love because some person, aka the baby, just wild out for whatever intents and purposes. That's her story. The baby might have a different story. I'll let them. I don't know. I wasn't there, but we tend to believe people when they tell us stuff, right? That's kind of how the society works. If someone tells us stuff,
they also believe the law, or nah, they don't believe cameras.
I don't believe the law. So
you don't believe cameras? You don't believe at a Walmart there's cameras? And
so once
a nigga comes up like he's trying to get your autograph and you so happen to kill him and the camera ain't see that and you get off? That shit don't even sound believable.
Once again,
Cameras at Walmart don't pick up audio.
Once again, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if a nigga scream, "The baby"?
They're not. They may not be very. They're
what
not
if a
very
nigga screamed,
clear
"The baby"? It was.
They're not very clear cameras.
Geek to see. Like I don't.
They're at a distance.
And so a nigga's gonna look like he's getting alright.
But ultimately,
you don't know what a person's
we don't know
body
what
language
you know
looks
gonna
like.
happen.
I really don't.
But my point was that when that was part of the story, no one had a problem with the baby.
He got off for
It actually
self-defense,
made the shtick more appealing
according to the law,
to the general to our general collective.
According to the North Carolina law,
Our general
he got off
collective
for
like that
self-defense.
shit. Our general collective was like, "Oh, he this, he that." Then he beat the niggas down in the mall, and everybody was everyone was loving all of that shit. And then he started doing shit that people didn't like, started saying stuff that people didn't like, talking about, and then it was like, "Oh, the baby is whack." And I'm like, that's an interesting reason to now decide that the baby is whack.
Turn of events.
Killing somebody, maybe or maybe not in self-defense. Assaulting somebody, maybe or maybe not in self-defense. All part of the course. Saying things that we don't like, now it's too much. And that just like, I don't think he got canceled for anything. I think he got canceled because his music isn't as good as it once was.
It's not progressing at all.
And nobody wants to hear the same thing from somebody who has a weird shtick. So I think that's his bigger issue than anything else. But
it was never about the music. The problem is it was never about the music.
And that is my whole point. So it bothers me that like both him and the collective seems to not be in the same accord as to why he's here. He's here because you guys like the shtick, because you guys like to perpetuate these type of weird stereotypes about how people should be this and that. And then when you're kind of done with it and you've moved on, you're like, all right, get out of here. Especially when they get too high to the sun. Like the baby became way too mainstream. If he was like a little Boosie ass type rapper, we wouldn't be having this conversation for real.
You can't do that. But
what do you mean I can't do that?
You can't do that. But
as far as how good he is,
you just can't just throw Boosie out there like Boosie's just anybody.
But it's more so the idea of Boosie, not Boosie in itself. The idea of what Boosie represents for an underground, maybe southern rapper. Like Boosie been rapping since he was 18. So I get what you're saying. Like Boosie is not just a regular. So yes, but I think the idea of Boosie comes like if I said
I think that's what Charles is going.
No, if I said a Gucci ass rapper, you would Gucci ass type rapper, you would know who I meant.
Nah, but. Damn, you made me miss my point with the baby. It's just like, because you talking about Lil Boosie.
I would argue the baby got way more mainstream than Boosie ever was.
Oh, dude, you said the people. You talking about like the fans? Or you talking about
the fans?
Fans. This is a collective. Like what labels?
You talking about fans or fans?
Well, for the fans, this is like you had one record. Like they like records. The people like records. That's not like nothing new. It wasn't like you was an album artist anyway. What are we talking about?
No, but he literally had like a 2 to 3 year run where like he was on these features with Sabrina.
He put out an album and it didn't sell.
But here's the thing. We're in the era. But this is I think the first one did like 100K though.
But he also had Suge on it.
Once again,
and these singles are part of these singles.
I get what you're saying.
Also, they got packages, and they getting pushes from the label.
This is what but I would argue this is what this era is about. We don't. How many people are album? We are the last decade of music has been people making singles.
I would argue that his budget in 2022 is not the same as 2020.
And that is my point. All of this plays a part. You know why? Because they take into like, do niggas' followers be popular? Do niggas Twitters and it went
or
what?
Niggas just doing wild shit and pissing off the wrong people. See, look, you know what's a great point I heard? Mm-hmm. You saying this shit about these people? You doing this shit to these people? These people are in charge. You just talking. You just talking, Charles.
Yeah, but my thing is that you don't think he said all these like his music and all this.
Maybe it was working before, and it was the single. Like that's what I say. But like at the time, it's the single you perform. Like I don't know.
I think for me, ultimately, I think all those points are correct. But I just find it interesting as a collective that fans, people are like, yo, the baby is somehow now and not in the good graces because of things he has said. And I'm saying,
what about the things he has done?
You know, like the idea that these things would carry more weight than, taking lives is a funny concept to me. Like that conceptually makes me laugh. I can't hold you. That the guy who like now is the reason why, the budget get cut. Like now is the reason why we not pushing help behind it. Like because you said something, not the fact that you killed another human being or that you might be, but that you said something that doesn't really jive with my personal way of living. Because we even talked about this earlier. You said you can't compare those things. That's just the way someone lives versus this is. And I was like, you're right. But that's to me, like, that's a wild concept to allow someone to literally perpetuate a culture and push that person as, a thing, a artist, representative that for North Carolina. That was a whole thing at one point. The Baby was putting on North Carolina rappers, right? He was the one mainstream that kind of broke and got into that, who wasn't like J. Cole. J. Cole made it out of being like, yo, I went to St. John's, I met Jay-Z. He was like, yo, I'm from where everyone else is from, right?
I'm the underdog Rockefeller artist or whatever, Rock Nation artist. I'm not even an artist. I have management.
This nigga is so good. I just find it really crazy. I won't lie. I find the concept very, very crazy. That this is what gets certain people out the way. And it will never not cease to amaze me. Anything?
Stinks, bro.
Anything we need to say before the boys get about it?
Retweet James.
We just spent a lot of time on the Baby,
Bro, it's too much time on that.
but just when you bring up J. Cole, it's just like J. Cole didn't do that. I'm from North Carolina, yeah, but I didn't. It wasn't about North Carolina. It was about me. Per se, but that's a whole other thing. So.
Anyone else? I hit on my. North Korea is sending missiles over Japan. Are we about to go to war? Y'all ready?
North Korea is sending missiles, like they're giving them ammunition.
No, they're sending missiles over Japan. Like
Literally flying.
They
missiles
flying
over.
them over. Like
as we speak.
no, about 2-3 hours ago, they said they did it.
So they hit.
No.
Japan is a series of islands.
They told them to take cover, like the Japanese officials.
So they're alarming them that they're about to.
No, North Korea just flexing muscle, bro.
Yeah,
they didn't do it.
They're flying them.
They're flying missiles over.
them
Like they're just shooting missiles over. Like they're like, to them, if you ask North Korea, they're testing missiles. That's exactly what Kim Jong-un would say.
So what does that mean?
He's just testing
Nigga,
missiles.
you see what happened to Hiroshima, right?
Yeah.
Fill me in.
Well, it's go check it out. Bikini, like a bikini bottom, like actual the concept of the thing came from a bomb that a nuclear bomb that they blew up, and one of those like off of the Hawaiian Islands. It was some United States testing.
The Marshall Islands.
And when they did the the blowing of with the island or whatever, like apparently flakes came, and the people didn't realize that it was radioactive or something, and a bunch of them were fucked up for so many years after. But it was because
to this day, actually.
Something about bikini, I forget the exact reason, but there's a connection to it. Either the island was called Bikini, like, a nickname or something like that, or something with the people who was wearing the clothes in which, and they end up using it. But that's a little fun fact. Google to get the full details. That's just my redacted version that I read or saw while watching TV one day. Oh, anything else on North Korea? Kim Jong, just remember.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. So they were testing bombs?
I'm pretty sure they haven't said anything, but if you ask them, this is a regular thing for North Korea.
The Japanese government literally told the people to take cover.
Yeah.
So they are concerned for what it's worth. You do with that what you will. How you feel about Kim Jong Un? You don't really have too much for the Kim Jong?
I really don't have much for overseas foreign affairs.
I like that. You listen. You stick to your bag.
Like, that has nothing to do with me. There's so much shit going on over there every day. Like, I can't keep up, bro. And it has nothing to do with me. I don't give a fuck.
Not necessarily true, but I feel that.
Those missiles flying over have nothing to do with me. Yeah, I saw a notification. I knew it was happening. It has nothing to do with me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, my thing is I'm always curious as to how people feel about things that, not that I think matter, but I think affect Because the thing is like, yo, we live in a world, like we live in a world together. Like we don't just live
Japan
by,
is an ally.
like we don't just live by ourselves. You know, like we don't just live on this country, on this continent. But like we import our food from different places. We import our clothes. Like,
But ain't North Korea on some other shit though?
but
Well,
that- my thing about it is
what
like,
happens with them don't concern them.
my point is that I see it like
North
this.
Korea?
This is how I see it.
They're
Case
the
an example.
They're the shunned communist
When
nation.
when the whole Ukraine thing started, people were like, there were a certain group of people who were like, yo, we ain't really fucking with it. Or some like, yo, we don't got the vibes for that.
Let Charles explain.
They were like, yo, we ain't got the vibes for that. That's not our bag. There were certain people who were like, yo, America, if America's doing it, Team USA, that's my bag. There are other people who were like, nah, that's not my bag. I'm not fucking with it. About 8 months later into the war, every other week they talking about they sending these niggas $32 billion, $900 million here, a package of this, guns here, and you see people slowly being like, man, what's that got to do with me? What's that got to do? Well, you remember when you first started and you were like, go you, yeah, you.
This is fucked up.
And you were like, go you, you know the team. If America got that. Well, that's what it has to do with you now. Like when you fight proxy wars, this is the cost. It means if America's not going to send their troops and they're going to have to pay other people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I wasn't even coming from there, but I like what you do.
And we've been doing it.
But that's my point. That like
that's the most famous
once
proxy
people-
war.
once
I think
people-
that's why America got involved in that jump.
once people start like,
they weren't
yo,
gonna get
that shit
involved
don't
at first.
matter. I'm like, you're right. The day to day don't change shit.
No, just to be clear about what I was saying. I wasn't saying that shit don't matter. I was saying that what North Korea do don't concern us unless it's directly to us. Now, what you did was made internal or worldly affairs our affairs, which it becomes because
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Let me say myself because I just want to be clear. Because I wasn't saying that it doesn't matter. Now what they doing is wild, and it do matter. But
Bro,
I was just saying.
Like
I leaned, it didn't matter.
he doesn't. And
You
I,
know,
I just want
that's another proxy war. China and North Korea, man, they low key started becoming mans recently. Within the last 5 years.
I mean, I understand what's going on with Taiwan.
All I'm saying is that, like,
and then Japan
I know why
Taiwan.
United States give me credit.
listen,
I'm
all I'm saying is that like the idea that like
But Ukraine was bamming out first though.
My
That's
thing
what
is that,
I
like,
was
But
done with.
ultimately, I get what the fuck they do. They playing mind games with you.
no. Here's my thing.
They playing whole
bro.
ass games, but
Bro,
my-
this Taiwan shit, I get it. Like,
No. This is my biggest issue.
You think it's more than that?
This is
it's
my
that.
thing,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
I'm gonna make
I
this
get it.
because once again we could be here all night discussing the world affairs of. So I don't want to do that.
That's my bad.
But
Bro,
I just want to finish with this. I swear this is my last point, and I promise I'm leaving. The idea that what you're saying about I guess like not even it not mattering, but like countries like Taiwan or like playing mind games. The sovereignty of people is the sovereignty of people. That is plain and simple. Like if a group of people says, "Hey, we want to be this," as a human group, we have kind of said that you're allowed to do that. If someone says, "Hey, I want to be,"
You're still in the Republic of China.
I want to be my people are Tibet, and we are Tibet since 1500 BC, and this is all we know, and we got conquered, and you made us this, but we're really this, and we've told people you're allowed to be this.
That's cool.
We've told
Y'all in
people
jail
like,
now.
yo, if you don't like who you are as a person, you want to be this, you could be. We have told people in this society, in the year in our Lord 2022, hey, you're allowed to be who you want to be.
That's the 100.
You're allowed to be the person who you see yourself as. You're allowed the right to your sovereignty. So anytime certain people try to deny other people that, i.e. the United States of America, it always baffles me. Because this is what it comes down to. Listen, Ukraine want to be part of NATO or whatever, fine. Why does NATO exist? Like that be my.
So with that being said, do these people who be sovereignties, do they be at the meetings?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's why you. What's the
that's
the
the
president
whole
of
point
Ukraine? He's at all the meetings. Like he's like, yo, my people want this.
They
And my
gotta
thing
get-
about it is that like, yo, once you do certain things to certain people, like
So why you think that's funny? Like, of course.
I think it's funny because here's the thing.
Listen, we
Here's the
big
thing. All right,
brother
all right,
niggas.
no. Here's the thing. If Russia decided, like tomorrow, that hey, they're going to put a coalition of countries in the Caribbean islands within and a few European countries that defend their right to stuff, everyone will look at them crazy, right? Everybody be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" That's what NATO is. NATO is the United States saying, "Yo." On that
Cool
side of the
when they do
world,
it. It's a
we're
problem
going.
when I do
Hey,
it.
it's cool when they do it. Fuck them when I do it. That's exactly what it is. And my thing is that no one said. Everyone's like, yeah, that's world policy. Everyone's like, yeah, that's how the world. Everybody's like, that's how the world works, and no one has a problem with it.
And Russia won that
If
side
Russia
of NATO.
decided today, yo, we want Cuba and a few other countries, and they set up, people would be like, they're crazy.
We want Cuba.
How could-
we want
how-
Cuba again.
No, not that they want Cuba. That we want to set up a coalition of countries.
We want it again.
We want to set up a coalition of countries to work together to protect our rights in this hemisphere. Everybody be like, you're fucking wild. You don't live over here. You don't have no business over here. That's what everyone would say, right? That's no. I would say that. I'd be like, what the fuck the Russians want to do over here?
Charles, like you kind of like, what you want me to just sit here? Just
Ukraine used to be
No,
Russia.
but
Because it's like, bro, like the United States have proven themselves, like they.
and that is why it all comes back to a power thing for me. That like when people have
what you
decided
did there.
that like,
He brought it full
yo,
circle.
they are the ones who decide these things. You either have two choices: to get down,
Or lay down.
and how you. And my thing about get down is like no one gets down just full fledged.
Yeah. How are you?
Oh, Madden got down. I don't give a fuck what's going on. That is a form of getting down. Like not giving a fuck and saying.
Like I ain't with it, but I'm with it. Fuck it.
He like, yo, whatever my squad doing.
Switzerland.
He like, whatever my squad doing, it don't matter to me. I'm here.
I'm here.
It's other niggas like me who is screaming to the abyss. Somebody help. And niggas is like, okay. It's other niggas who's like, fuck you, Charles. You ain't on the front lines. I'm like, you're right. Okay. There's other niggas like, yo, if you on the front line, do more. And the other niggas like, yeah, okay. Like, there's levels to all of this, and I just don't want anyone to be lie to themselves about where they fit in the. Like me, I know I'm screaming into the abyss, help. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling y'all, I'm not out here on the front line. You ain't seen me donate any money to any nonpartisan coalition that would stop the United States or Russia. No, because I don't care that much. But I do have thoughts and feelings, so I will.
Be reaching the right.
So I will tell you. But outside of that,
Retweet Charles.
that's about it. And that's why we pod.
Yeah,
You gotta love a good Monday pod.
yeah. Shout out to North Korea.
Wow.
I love a good shout. Here's the thing about the shout outs. The shout outs aren't
Not
people.
the testing the missiles. That's wild.
No. See, people don't understand. I understand the shout. People think a shout out is like an
I just wasn't
endorsement.
expecting it.
It's not an endorsement. A shout out is literally
That's
just.
why I said wow. I loved it.
They still kicking, man.
Who? No, Korea?
They ain't going nowhere. You say you love the Charles good.
It's just it's an acknowledgement of the sentiment. Like you saying, shout out North Korea because like, yo, they being bad. Like shout out Coach Storm. Like she has the audacity.
Nah. So we can take back to North Korea.
He was like, if the shout outs allow me with Coach Storm, I want nothing to do with it.
We good.
I can respect that. Every man has to have a principle.
Nah. High vibrations only. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's where we end. Full circle moment.